Hey guys, it's Weedle, and today I wanted to get with y'all and show y'all some TOG play. I recently 3-marked this tank, and I know some of you that are watching my live stream saw me working on it a little bit, but I chose this game in just a short clip, basically to show you some of like the strengths of this tank. Obviously the weakness is, well, it has no armor and it's incredibly slow, but you know, the TOG's just like from a pure DPM standpoint. Right here, there's a T29, which is probably the best Tier 7 heavy that you're going to come across, arguably. And, this tank, you'll notice in a second, he is a 2-marked player, so you would assume that he's at least reasonably good. But from a pure DPM standpoint, just watch what happens. When I sit here, when you get into this situation where you can just start unloading into a tank and how much you can just shred into their health. I've tried track shot. Another thing, the small caliber on this gun makes it really difficult to track a tank in one shot. Most of the time you won't be able to. But just look at his health there. Just absolutely, vaporizing him. And obviously he's doing a very poor job of side scraping. But right there, just able to quickly just finish him off. The rest of this battle gets kind of boring. There's not a whole lot that goes on. So I'm going to go on to another gameplay to show you some situations that you'll find yourself in that and what to do when you get into like a big open map that's just slow crawling. Alright, now for game two, I chose this map not because I had a great battle. This was a very mediocre to average battle I had in it. But what do you do when you get this big open map like steps and you're in a TOG? Now I have a Bounty Turbo equipped to this thing, and it still only gets to like 18 kilometers, and I'm kind of going downhill. It's painfully slow. Um, and it took me approximately 140 games to 3-mark it. Yeah, I'm not the best player, but I did 3-mark it. Um, and one thing, you just in here in a tip, if you want to go down and 3-mark this tank, I did it just because I thought it would be funny. But if you're interested in actually 3-marking this tank, you're going to get maps like this where you also have technically one of the worst matchmaking for this thing. It is preferred, so the highest tier tank you can see is tier 7. But when you get an open map like this, you're going to be doing a lot what I'm doing right here, holding down the W key and just driving forward. Um, because you're so slow, you just can't sit at the back of the map and farm damage. Not unless your team just gets obliterated and then they're all rushing toward you, which in case you're probably not going to live long anyway. So there's a lot of W keying. You want to try to be spearheading the push if you're going to farm the damage. So I don't even really slow down here because my guys haven't seen anybody. They're actually ahead. I'm finally pushing forward ahead of them. I've kind of just caught up to them. So, decent gun handling right there. Apologize. Um, but that's what we're going to do. We're just going to get up here and we're going to just start trying to fire shots into some tanks. And um, and you just hope that you can have a good enough battle that that's another thing right there. Artie is not your friend. This tank is so slow and so large. It's the longest tank in the game. It sort of looks like an aircraft carrier going in reverse. I mean, you could almost land a plane on this thing. It's ridiculous. Um, a couple of good shots right there just on the move. It does have good gun handling, as you can see. Very fast reload. You just keep pressing in the tanks. You got so many hit points that uh, many tanks have trouble just dealing with you from a standpoint of they just can't do enough damage to you to burn you down before you kill them. Gunner's dead, so finally I noticed and fixed the problem. But yeah, you just get into a situation like this where hopefully you can just keep firing and keep your gun hot. And it does rack up damage fairly quickly. One thing you'll notice, I do fire a lot of premium rounds in this tank, or I did at least while I was trying to grind it out. The normal rounds are good enough for most situations, but honestly, if you're trying to mark a tank, you might as well just be firing premium rounds if they're APCR at least. Um, it APCR rounds tend to just go through everything on this one. It's got very good premium rounds. I don't know where that round went, and yeah, I feel like half my health was lost to Artie in this game, but that's a very common occurrence that I had while playing it. Is and there's no point in going back to base. Like I said, you're so slow, you're not going to get there anyway. So, this game, just finished with 1,500 damage. It kind of kept me in the hunt for marking it, but I didn't mark it. I will in the next game show you the game I actually did get the 3 mark on this tank, so you can see that. Now, this is the match that I actually did get the 3 mark on it, and I didn't honestly think I would. I didn't think the um, damage was left in the map to get it, and I'll kind of explain when I had my doubts when we get there. But as a general tip of where do you decide to take the TOG? And in my opinion, you should first pick a location, the fastest place you can get to cover. Um, because, like I said, you're going to be an arty magnet if you're playing this thing. You're so big, you're so slow, and you have no armor that everything loves to shoot you. Um, so for this map, it's going to be the hill for me. It's a map where I can engage close quarters, hopefully just get into a DPM race with a tank and burn them down, which is what this thing does really well. 1v1, this will pretty much beat any tank in the game that it's going to see at tier 6, 7. Just from the pure standpoint, because it's got so many hit points. Like I said earlier, I'm running all bounty equipment on this. I use Watt Plus, so I just transfer it. But even if you don't, it's still, you can just equip a normal equipment. So on it, I do have hardening, and you can see it gives me 1,790 hit points. That's more hit points than many tier 8 heavies at tier 6, which just makes it kind of crazy when you think about it. You see these tanks up here, like they have nowhere near, like 1,200-ish. I think that VK has 1,100, something like that. There, and you see the reload very fast. You can just keep moving up. Trying to obviously search for another target to shoot right here and not get shot myself. Oh, don't get him. And they're just letting me up on the hill. And like I said, it's a really slow tank, so you'll just end up driving around a lot, very slowly. It's just really more like crawling. Yeah. Assisted damage, it's not uncommon that I have I would get like 1,000 assisted damage from just spotting tanks and driving forward. Like I said, you have enough hit points, you can take most hits. There's a freebie. Obviously, there's a couple of tanks shooting at me. And you can trade your hit points. I mean, this thing doesn't have armor. When you're playing it, keep that in mind. It doesn't have armor. You just trade hit points for damage. And it's got pretty good gun handling, so, a lot of times if you get into a fight, you're just going to win it by default. Now, in this match right now, it doesn't look like it's going great for me. Most of their tanks seem to be on the other side. My team seems to be dying really quickly. I don't see any way I can just drive across the field and get there and do any meaningful amount of damage. So I kind of think at this point there's no chance I'm going to get the third mark. And right now you can see the counter. It's not actually accurate, but I finished this game with exactly 95%. So I just kind of got it, and I was very thankful for it because I was incredibly tired of playing this tank after 140 games. But I set a goal for myself, and I saw it through. But general equipment, I know I've probably started that a few times now, but you want to be running hardening. It's got a lot of hit points, so just increasing that just helps. The other thing, you have to have a turbo on this tank. It's just so slow that that just base move speed of going faster forward or reverse and the engine power. You got to have it. Um, Other thing, and I just think it's non-negotiable really, is just the gun rammer. It's got great DPM, and just buffing that up just helps the tank out to be a menace on the battlefield. It's got good enough gun handling. You don't really need stabilizers. I don't see a reason for it, especially when you're trying to engage tanks at relatively close range. For some reason, like the shadow of the tank is not showing up, but obviously I'm not just shooting at bushes here. And right there, just like I said, you just catch a tank out, you just burn them down. Like you saw what happened to that T-29 early in the video. If you just get a chance where you're just shooting at a tank, it just goes very badly for him. And right now, each one of these tanks is being very kind to me. I already got 5 kills. Um, and I realize at this point, hey, I'm actually getting pretty close to 3 marking it. I just have to figure out, where this Su-100Y is, which he's the dangerous tank. I forget what that thing hits for. It's like 500 or something like that. Um, I'm pretty much a 2-shot for him, and I don't know how many hit points he's got at this point, but that's by far the most dangerous tank in the game for me, especially when you have no armor. I think tank might actually hit harder than 500 if it's premium round. I think it's premium rounds do actually more damage. You just have less pin. One of those weird tanks. Um, I choose right here to just watch over this tank in the cap. Um, Obviously, I don't really help him there, but he's just essentially cap bait. Um, Here's that 514 shot. So, I'm near, a 1 shot for him, so I need to be careful. Oh, and he pushes around, gives a little poke. Um, I know the Su-100Y is over there, but no one's spotted him yet. I'm like, come on, little T-67. Oh, there he goes. He goes to push and pays for it. So I got my top gun. There's the Su-100Y. Should be a 1 shot. There we go. And the only tank left is the leaf blower. So I feel pretty comfortable coming off the hill right now. It was kind of fortunate that they just kept feeding me damage. Sometimes that's going to happen. Um, so now I get to drive really slowly and try to spot him. And one thing that's always terrifying about the leaf blower is it's got really, really good view range, especially for an arty. Um, so it's not it's something you got to be kind of careful. He's just sitting in a bush and he fires a couple of heat rounds or something at you. It could give you a bad day. Which another thing, the reason I hate that thing. It fires incredibly fast and has pretty good penetration on its heat rounds, and and it's very accurate. It's probably the most toxic tank in the game. So um, from here, it's kind of like a boring thing. So I'm just going to drive. Eventually, I do find this tank, and I'm able to get my 8th kill and barely reach across the 3 mark of it. There's my Hori. He spots him. I'm kind of actually surprised. Yeah, I think I actually type I'm 94.77% from getting my 3rd mark. So was getting pretty excited. I didn't think I was going to get this kill. I really did think the is that Hyrie or Gyro? Huh. Um, you don't see that tank very often. And here I come up, and hey, I actually see him. And there's one round, two, and he's not getting away. I secure my there we go. Secure my 8th kill. Um, real quick, we're gonna hop out, and I'm just gonna go over a couple of statistical things on the tank, and kind of go over, hey, should you buy it? I just wrap up the recording here. As you see, I do have my 3rd mark on it. Some quick stat things on this. Average penetration is 171 with your AP rounds. That's not horrible, um, but it's not, you know, 239 to 218 just goes through most everything, especially at tier 6 and tier 7. And it's just, if you're trying to market, just give yourself every advantage you can. Um, I did not. There were games that just made me about turn gray playing this tank. Uh, Rate of fire, over 15 rounds a minute. Reload, and this is also, with bounty rammer and food. I run food on most of my tanks, but you know, aim time, 2.1 seconds. It's pretty good, honestly. Dispersion, 0.31. Very good for a heavy tank. Uh, Average damage per minute, 2292. Like I said, it just will shred most tanks that gets, especially if it's seeing tier 6s or tier 5s. Tier 7s, you can still burn down most tier 7s faster than they can kill you. And it's just an easy, 1500 damage, 1400 damage, whatever they're packing. Armor wise, like I said, it doesn't have armor. It trades its hit points. It's got 76 armor on the front here, very easy to pin. 114 in the turret, very easy to pin. If somebody's shooting you, they're probably going to pin you. Occasionally you'll get those bounces, and you can go, hallelujah, I'm here for a little bit longer. Field mods, I take the all-terrain suspension, take every advantage to go a little bit faster that I can. Um, aim Aim circle size, pretty much the only thing you take here ever. It's better than aim speed. And you might as well take the view range because this really doesn't do a whole lot. Um, view range is often key to seeing your enemy and shooting them first. But I hope that helps. As far as should you buy it? Well, I wouldn't buy it because you're looking for a credit maker, because it's not. If you need a credit maker, tier 8. However, if you just want something that's very unique to play, that doesn't take a whole lot of thought, yeah, this might be a tank for you. It's tier 6. I don't think it's usually very expensive. I think it's like in the $20 range. I actually got this one out of a Twitch drop thing, so I got it for free. But yeah, it's either the most overpowered tank in a fight or really annoying to play. So if you want something different, pick it up, enjoy it. Let me know how you like it. If you want to catch me live, I'll leave a Twitch link. I try to play live, 3 nights a week, usually, generally. And like and share the channel if you want to see more of my content. Thanks.